Hi all! Today we're going to be talking about Destroyer Black, the Tier 9 US Cold Destroyer that was formerly available for Steel and formerly available in Ranked several years ago. The Black is very good. In a nutshell, the Black is very strong because it gets access to Smoke and Radar at Tier 9 on a Destroyer, which is on a Fletcher class, so it has a lot of really good traits going for it that makes it really fun to use and very strong and skilled hands. Of course, the standout feature of the ship is her radar, 7.5 kilometer radar, and, provided you know what you're doing, can be used to easily kill other destroyers, can be used to provide information, and, if you're playing with friendlies in a division, you can pull off some extremely rude maneuvers to enemy destroyers, provided you have a good vision and you know what you're doing. So, as mentioned, the Black is Tier 9. It is essentially Fletcher. It's very similar to Fletcher. And for that regard, if you've played the Fletcher before, you can take a lot of that and apply it to the Black. I mean, you've got a decent hit pool where, with Survivability Expert and Ovechkin, you have 20.7 HP, or 20k.700, whatever, which is a nice hit pool for Tier 9. Of course, it's not top of the tier, but it's pretty good. Your artillery is exactly the same as found on Fletcher, so if you're familiar with that, it's the same thing here. Nice guns, especially given that the Black usually prefers to fight in closer ranges. The torpedoes, however, differ quite significantly from the Fletcher. You have 10 torpedoes, which is the same, a 96-second reload, which is so-so, but they hit extremely hard at 21.6k damage, and they have a 13.7 kilometer range, which is good. In addition, they only have a 0.9 kilometer detectability range, making them some of the lowest detectability torpedoes in the game. There's a catch. They move at 43 knots. Most destroyers can outrun these, and even some cruisers and a select few battleships can outrun these. They are slow. There's a reason they're called sea mines. However, they are very good for area denial because people usually don't expect them coming. So you just chuck them to die out an area, and then, you might just score a hit or two, and because they hit so hard, you might get a lucky kill. Sometimes you'll just be able to pick a DD off, didn't expect anything. Depth charges are fine. I mean, it's depth charges in an ASW, so your A defense is basically the same as the regular Fletcher. It doesn't matter because CVs will still destroy you. Your maneuverability is basically the same as the standard Fletcher, which is fine. And your concealment is the same as the standard Fletcher, which is on the better end for Tier 9. It really is a lot like a Fletcher that's been modified. Of course, as mentioned, her standout feature is her radar, 7.5 kilometer with a 22-second duration. However, you can bump this up to 25 seconds if you take Radar Mod, which I highly recommend doing. You get your standard USS Destroyer Smoke, which is also very nice, especially if you're going to be using the ship for team play, which is really where it shines. With a good division or good coordination in ranked or clan battles, the Black can easily make quick work of enemy destroyers thanks to its radar, and, you can just ruin people's day. In the way of modifications, main armaments 1, always a good pick. I would definitely take Radar Mod in slot 2, but if you're short on coal, engine room protection is a fine alternative because, you don't want to lose your engine when you're steering in a destroyer. Of note, you can swap out the radar for speed boost or defensive AA, but that would be foolish. Please do not do that. Slot 3 is kind of up to you. If you want to take aiming systems for a little bit better dispersion, you can do that. But torpedo tubes is fine because it'll make your torpedoes a slight bit faster. And, given how slow they are, that's nice. And the smoke generator is, of course, fine, given that, well, you have USM smoke. If you want to go even bigger on your smoke screens, you absolutely can do so. Slot 4 is up to you whether you want propulsion or rudder. I would personally lean towards propulsion, as you'll probably be in smoke with your radar quite a lot. But if you want to take steering gears, that's fine. Of course, take concealment in slot 5, and honestly, in slot 6, you can either go reload or torpedo. Personally, I find the Black's much more effective at killing other destroyers, and maximizing the amount of damage you can put out while your radar's up is way easier with main battery mod 3. However, if you want to specialize in the sea mines, you could take torpedo tubes. I personally wouldn't, but you can. Of course, take your recommended flags. The game will tell you exactly what it recommends, and for that regard, you can stick with them. For your captain. Now, of course, I have Ovechkin, so you will see a buff survivability expert here, but regardless, you can pretty much take the same pick anyway on a normal commander. For slot 1, or rather tier 1, preventive maintenance is probably your best bet here. The other buffs don't really help you, and less chance of your engine going out is always nice. I would easily follow it up with Last Stand because, you know, again, you don't want your engine to go out. Follow it up with Survivability Expert for more HP, and then take Concealment Expert. Superintendent is mandatory because it gives you an extra radar and smoke, which is obviously where the black shines. Adrenaline Rush, of course, is good, like always, and Consumables Enhancements will give you 10% more radar uptime, which, when combined with Radar Mod, you can get 25 seconds. So, it's not a huge jump over the regular 22, but it is still nice to have. And for your final 3 points, honestly, you can kind of spend them however you want. If you want to take Demo Expert and, I don't know, want to take, like, Grace the Gears and play it heavily into, like, just fire farming on people, you can. Or if you want to go for, say, Fill the Tubes and make your torpedoes a little bit better, or, say, Swift Fish, etc., you can. I opted for Main Battery Specialist just because 5% more reload is 5% more reload, and it will allow you to get just a little bit more DPM out of it when you're attacking enemy ships. However, that is really up to you. I would say you absolutely need Preventive Maintenance, Last Stand, Survivability, Concealment, Superintendent, and then, honestly, from there you can kind of go your own way, but I would heavily recommend Adrenaline Rush and Consumables Enhancements. So, of course, that's the ship overview, and now into a live game, as is usual for these, because I like showing what the ship is like live, you know? Anything could happen, you know? I don't want to just edit or find some good replay to show you. I want to just, you know, jump into a game. This is what an average game for a relatively average player. I'm at like a 52 or 53% win rate. But, you know, this is what the average game will look like for the average player. Hopefully we'll be able to actually find a match. 4 submarines in 1 battle is rather discouraging, but we will see. In fact, I'm going to think, I think my black stats are relatively good. Now I'm very curious while we wait for a match, considering... Well, they just got a match. That's unfortunate. What are my stats in the black? Because I am now very, very curious. 66% win rate. It's a good ship. And, like I said, because it has radar and smoke, you have a lot of game impact in this thing. The only things you really need to worry about are radars and gun DDs that will push straight into you. Stuff like Frieslands, Utlins, even Kitakazes if they know what they're doing. If you get pushed into, your DPS is still not amazing. I mean, it's still basically Fletcher. So keep your distance, but work that distance, you know? You don't need to fire at DDs from like 8 kilometers away. There's kind of a sweet spot between 5 and 7.5 kilometers where you shouldn't be getting hydroed unless it's, say, a Z44, not a Z44, the Z46? The German Tier 9 DD. Between 5 and 7.5 kilometers, though, you know, you'll have them lit up on radar, and you'll be regularly safe. God, what are these queue times? I know it's 9 PM on a Wednesday, but, like, what is this? Is nobody playing, like, Tier 9 right now or something? Like, thank you, Wargaming, very cool. The game is dying, by the way. That, or it's just making me wait so long so that I have to deal with aircraft carriers, because, let's be real, it's Wargaming. It's how it goes sometimes. Okay, can it seriously not find us a match? There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now we'll be able to actually play the game. So, let's just see what we get. Hopefully we get a decent map. Hopefully there's not a whole lot of radars, but it is Tier 9 and radar ships are very popular. So, it's just something you have to work around. Obviously, while you can play quite aggressively in the black, due to your radar and smoke, obviously, you will still get nuked by cruisers that radar you. You know, it is still a Fletcher. It's not super maneuverable. It doesn't have a super big hit pool. The armor is just mediocre. You know, you will get smacked by big ships if you allow yourself to. Wow, long load time. I know it's patch day, but damn. Wargaming, what are you up to, buddy? Wargaming, what are you up to, buddy? Okay, Tier 9, so we're top tier. That's very good. We've got 2 radars, the Cleveland and the Chapiev. Groningen is concerning because of his hydro and his sure gun power. We do have to worry about the CV, but other than that, a pretty alright match, all things considered. Only one light cruiser radar and only 1 Russian radar is pretty nice. And, I mean, the CV is annoying, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Groningen will also be annoying, and we can tell that the Groningen definitely spawned on our side, because we spawned over here, none of our other DDs did. Which should be annoying, but we do have our friendly Buffalo here to provide radar. Alright, let's make the most of this. With that long queue time, and me shooting this live, I don't really want to have a bad game. Because that would be really, really unfortunate. I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes, and obviously I'd just leave it in that case, but, you know, it'd be pretty unfortunate. I would have rather gotten Seaside on this map. I don't like Mountain Range to begin with, I should note, but I would have rather gotten Seaside because there's more island cover to work around, because obviously radar goes through islands, and it would have been nice. However, A-side will work just fine, and let's see, only the Kagero will outspot me on their team, but we know he's not here, so that's not a big concern. I should outspot the Groningen slightly, but that Hydro is very, very concerning. Should I let it too close? I'm not super worried about... Oh, there's Chapia radar. That's going to be annoying. Well, not radar, but obviously there's Chapia. That is a 12k radar. Moderately annoying, but it is what it is, as they say. Akazuki's coming in middle. Okay, that should be a pretty free pick. And at that distance, I shouldn't have to worry about Chapia radar, but we will figure that one out as we go. Probably going to torpedo down this area just to prevent any of their ships from trying to take this flank. You know, maybe we'll get a lucky hit, maybe we won't, but it's just a safety call, just in case anyone tries to push up. And besides, there are sea mines. They're going to take a while to get there, so sure, the idea is the battleships will show up, because since they are sea mines, you know, they're 43 knots with the modifications. The idea is that because we're dropping them so early, their battleships should have more than enough time to show up. Cyclone, that's going to be annoying, but that might work in our favor. There's Chapiev. Okay, I'm within radar range. I am definitely going to move. It seems the Chapiev isn't radaring, though, which is interesting. He should know he has most cap coverage. Interesting move by this Chapiev. Okay, now I know that the Akazuki's in cap. We're going to smoke because my radar reaches the end of cap. We're going to hit the radar key. It's the Kagero, actually. Now that is most interesting. And the Groningen's on the other side of the map. Okay, I thought it would have mirrored the 2 Tier 9 destroyers, but this works greatly in our favor. So now, obviously, because we're smoked and the radar is up, we can just bully this Kagero. Like, there's just nothing he can really do. You know, I don't know why their Chapiev didn't push in slightly and radar me, or at least have radar coverage on the cap. I know they're not in division, but still, it just seems like a very peculiar move. Of course, the Kagero Torps is where something like Propulsion Mod comes in great handy. But we will just... And the Aki torped us too. Alright, we will turn in. There we go. Easy dodge. Looks like the Akazuki's pushed quite handily out of cap. The Buffalo's going to pick him up on radar. I do have pretty favorable terms of engagement here, but I'd rather not lose too much HP this early. So I think I'm just going to leave the Akazuki be. I still don't know where that Kansas is, and I still don't know if anyone else is going to center, because we just haven't seen a whole lot on their other side of the map. So I think I'm just going to shadow this Akazuki and keep him detected. Obviously, once the Buffalo radar goes down, I can just stay here and I can just shadow him since he won't stop firing. Obviously. Okay, he's not going to stop firing. He will smoke, though. Wanted the teammate to ask for radar. Unfortunately, it's just down. I almost wish there was a quick message to say, like, unavailable, or... like, I can't, like, radar down, or... You know, it would be nice to just be able to say, you know, I can't radar. Unfortunately, our Buffalo went down. That's annoying. I'm not sure why he was pushed up so far, but whatever he thinks is the right move is fine by me. Ugh, that Takahashi pushing is a risk, but this Akazuki is a free kill. I'll probably lose a bit more HP than I would want to here. but it's not a big deal. Yes, I'm aware the Akazuki was spotted. That's why I was shadowing him, buddy. I'm sorry I didn't fire at him, but I judged that given that we didn't know where their Takahashi was, it was a safer move to simply not engage. At least that was my justification. I decided that, you know, I will simply choose to shadow and just keep that Akazuki spotted. Of course, it's unfortunate that we lost the Buffalo in the process, and our Kagero completely threw on Seaside. But it is what it is. Ah, this is going to be a problem. I do get picked up on the smoke, which is good, and I should be able to fire AP. They may only be 127s, but it is still AP, and that's sonar. Alright, I could very well die here. I wasn't expecting the Takahashi to push straight up into the middle. I had figured that because of his teammates' positioning, that he simply would not have chosen to make a move like that. Okay, he already torped. Ah, I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna escape the Hydro, but I don't think it's enough. I think I'll die on the fire. Yeah, I will. Yeah. And I've been picked up because of the fire. Yeah, unfortunate. Unfortunate. I didn't think the Takahashi would move up. That's just a mistake on my part. And that's what happens when you shoot these live. Ah, and the Kagero Torps hit right after I die. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate, but, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. I mean, I was able to kill both their DDs, which means that if our line and Kearsarge know what they're doing, they should be able to hold this flank. And we do have quite a fair ship advantage right now, and now all their DDs are killed thanks to our Atago, so hopefully our team will be able to put this one together. I just messed up. I didn't think the Takahashi would go through. It's just a mistake on my end. That's what happens when you come to these live. Obviously, I probably got a little bit overzealous, but I wanted to stay out of range of Chappie Radar, so just a mistake on my part. You know, that's how it goes. That's just how it goes sometimes. Although that does make for a nice segue to the recap. In short, obviously Black, very good destroyer if you know what you're doing. It demands some skill in your positioning to not get overzealous with the radar. But if you know what you're doing and you're competitive, you can absolutely shut down other destroyers, nuke them early game. The torpedoes are absolute sea mines, but they hit really hard and work really well for area denial. And other than that, it feels a hell of a lot like a Fletcher because it basically is a Fletcher that's been given radar. And sea mines for torpedoes. So, thank you all. I'm sorry the game wasn't better, but you know what? It is what it is. It's what happens when you shoot these live. And I will see you all another time. So, bye.